Hey guys, I am not complaining, but I am picking up a ton of extra shifts at the primary breadwinning job, private security contracting, working a ton. Also, I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but felt pretty bad up until this morning. I feel much better this morning. Working a lot of hours, still trying to, work out twice a day, get in competition shooting, be a good husband, be a good dog owner and trainer, all the other monotony of life, going shopping, getting food, all that stuff. All the little things that add up. It's a busy season. Trying to stay on the content for you guys. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm a blessed man. But, getting up at 4 something in the morning, putting on body armor, jungle boots, and a gun belt, working out twice, going to a shooting competition afterwards in the evening. Yep. Thus is the life of a gunfighter, and I'm very blessed to have it. For everything, there is a season. This is a busy season. So I'm trying to stay on top of the content for you guys. This one is at home, but you may hear some more mobile recordings, which means the audio quality is probably not going to be as good. I appreciate you guys standing by. Let's talk about gear today. We're going to talk about gear. Hopefully I'm not a gear junkie, but gear is important, right? You can't be a gunfighter without a gun. A lot of the other stuff that you use is important. So we're going to talk about some gunfighting adjacent gear today on Gunfighter Life, the podcast where we talk about guns, gunfighting, tactics, ballistics, the right way, with God at the center, Judeo-Christian values, and real-world first-hand experience. Bio link in the show notes. Let's talk about a holster company that I've used for years now that are awesome. They are my go-to favorite. I like them better than Safariland. I like them better than a bunch of other holster companies that cost a lot more money, and that is Black Scorpion. You can find Black Scorpion on Amazon. Probably find them other places too, but they make fantastic holsters. They are fast, they are sleek, they are not overbuilt. If you're going to carry a man-sized, full-size handgun, strong side hip, a full-size fighting handgun, these are my go-to recommendation if they make it for the gun that you have. Black Scorpion. I think it's their IDPA holster. A lot of other holsters are frankly way overbuilt. Giant, thick chunks of plastic. These are strong, but also sleek and svelte and fast. The Black Scorpion. I've had one for a long time for the M17. I really, really like that holster. I'm looking for a new holster for a 226, and I have a Blade Tech, which is a decent holster. It's a fine holster. But I could have gotten another Blade Tech, and I could have gotten like a day or two. Or I could have waited quite a while longer and got the Black Scorpion. I was like, you know what? I'll wait. Because the Black Scorpion, it's just a testimony. It's a very, very, and they were both about the same price, a very good holster. So if you're looking for a man-sized gun holster, strong side hip, I don't know about their other holsters, but like their IDPA holster, yes, they're phenomenal. The Walker Silencer Bluetooth headphones, worth every penny. I'm on my second set. I had the old first gen, and I'm not going to fault that. I had them for years and years, and I used them so much, especially as a professional hunter and guide. And I'm doing a bunch of other stuff that, like literally the rubber just like kind of dry rotted. That's how much I used them, and I wasn't going to blame Walker for that. They were worth every penny that I spent for the first ones. I just bought a second set. The next gen are also very good. I was using those yesterday. They're just really good. You consider this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to come back to that. Also really good, the Surefire Sonic Defenders. These are non-electronic. The Walkers are electronic, battery powered. They have a charging case, much like the Apple eye ears or whatever they call them for your ear balls, right? I don't know what they call them, but you know what I'm talking about. Almost everybody uses those things nowadays, but they're electronic like that. The Sonic Defenders are non-electronic. They let you hear conversational whisper type tones, but they block out really loud noises. They don't take batteries. You can wear them all day. I wear them a lot of times when I'm out hiking, and I might shoot something. I'm out in the bush, and I might shoot something, but I'm going to have them in all day. You can hear very, very quiet noises. I'm a spot and stalk still hunter. They're great for that. Not as good as the Walkers. The Walkers let you hear better than you can normally hear. But consider this. You could send the ATF $200. You could spend $1,000 or more on a giant metal tube. That's basically just a metal tube with some rings in it. You could spend that $1,000 and screw that giant abomination on the end of your gun, making it heavier, longer, whatever. If you're shooting supersonic, still not hearing safe, so you still got to wear the earplugs. Or you could spend $150, $250, depending on the model of the walkers. It'll let you hear better, will be hearing safe, are much smaller, much sleeker, much felter. Or you could get the Sonic Defenders that are good, hearing safe, that cost $20, $30. Which one of those makes more sense? You decide. Although I guess they're not as cool if you have Instagram and post on there. I guess, they don't make your gun look as cool on Instagram. So if that's what you care about, then get the other thing. But just some thoughts there. As you can tell, I'm not sponsored by a big suppressor. If you want to get a suppressor and spend the money on it, have fun. But ask yourself one thing on there. Who benefits? Who's taking a bribe, a kickback? Is somebody that's telling you how great suppressors are they sponsored by a suppressor company? Or are they getting sent suppressors or money or whatever? Just take a step back and ask if it makes logical sense. Anyway, and sometimes the answer is yes, right? There are times where a suppressor makes sense, but they're very, very small niche. Says me. One of my go-to scopes. I probably have more of this model of scope than any other single model, and that is the Leupold VX Freedom Pigplex 1.5-4. It's an LPVO. It's great on AR. It's great on a hunting rifle. It's great if you're a spot and stalk hunter. It's great. It's great. Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4. What do I want if I'm going to shoot out to 500-600 yards? Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4. What should I put on this general purpose hunting rifle? If you're going to spot and stalk and still hunt like I like to. Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4 Pigplex. I specify the Pigplex. I really like that Pigplex reticle. I am going to build, a good all-around AR and I want to mount an LPVO. What should I get? Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4 Pigplex. You can get something else if you want, but that's my number one recommendation. Again, I have many, many models of those. They are fantastic. They're not just fantastic for the money. They're just plain out fantastic. That scope costs twice as more. I'd probably pay twice as much for it. It's sleek, it's felt, it's rugged, it's reliable, it's fast, it's accurate, it's simple. It's just, yes. Something I've used for a long time. I recently did another camo job on a gun. By God's grace, it came out very good because it was an expensive gun. I'm glad that it came out very well using some of these products. And a pack of doilies I got from Dollar Tree. You didn't think doilies would be on the Gunfighter Life episode, I bet. But no, that's what they had. I needed something that was like netting. It was a doily. It had holes in it. It worked fine. Don't worry, I'm not about to start drinking soy lattes. But anyway, the paint, you can just use, especially with a rifle, an AR or something, you can just use regular spray paint. Krylon, whatever. I don't work for big spray paint. Whatever brand you want. But if you're going to do it on a handgun, on a slide, something that's going to get a lot of wear and tear, like going in and out of holsters, being beat up, being carried a lot, there are some products. You can use them on rifles too. I've used them on both. But one is the Brownell's Alumahide. Brownell's Alumahide comes in a bunch of different colors. It works real well. It's an epoxy-based spray. My one thing with this, and I've used it many times, many cans of it, you'll almost never get to use the entire can in my experience. You're spending it, you're going to use it, and it's going to clog up pretty quick. It's because it is epoxy, whatever, you're probably going to go through several nozzles, like on a cheap, can of white spray paint used for spray painting your targets. You're going to swap it out, but eventually it's going to get so gunked up. It's going to be frustrating. But while you have it and it's reliable, if you're getting it just to spray paint one gun in one day, it's probably fine. It's an affordable, reliable, fairly robust firearms finish. Brownell's Alumahide. The other one is Ceramicoat. It's kind of, think of it as like a DIY Ceramicoat. It's in a spray can. You don't have to bake it. You can bake it. You bake the plastic and the metal at different temperatures you're supposed to. It's a very, very durable finish. I've had this on 22 handguns that I just trained I trained with that handgun so much that I cracked the frame on a 22. Years and years of hard use. At some point I put a coating on there, and I think it was Ceramicoat, and the finish was still awesome when I cracked the frame on it. Now, Cerakote is great. I like Cerakote, but you generally have to get that professionally done. Ceramic coat you can do yourself. Comes in a spray can, comes in a rattle can. So both of those work pretty well. So just if you're looking at redoing a gun, again, just regular spray paint, if it's not going to get a ton of abuse, that's fine. But these may add a little bit more durability to the finish. Red dots. Red dots are not even the future. They're here, right? And if you don't think they're better than irons, then go shoot a competition with both. Right? There's a reason they have different divisions. I'm not a big fan of batteries for things I'm going to trust my life to. We're getting to the point where maybe I would again, but I've just been let down so many times. Last competition I went to, guy went up to first stage, went up to shoot, battery was dead in his optic. These are guys that know what they're doing, right? But my number one recommendation on a go-to fighting handgun, well, number one is have backup iron sights, so you can shoot if you don't have a dot. So even if your dot goes out, you're just back to iron sights. You're not like rolling over and sucking your thumb. So backup iron sights, but also the Trijicon RMR dual illuminated tritium fiber optic. It does not take batteries. It is not electronic. It runs off radiation and ambient light. So yeah, I like that. They're rugged. They're robust. They are crazy rugged. They don't take batteries. They do have a half-life of 14 years. That's how radiation works. But still, that's a lot more than any battery is going to give you. Even the ones they say they last for like whatever amount of years, that's at good temperatures and at the lowest or at a fairly decent setting. So that's my number one recommendation, the RMR dual illuminated. And now I probably shouldn't say this because I have a hard time finding these when I need them, but they don't make the model that I really favor. Now the ones they make have a dot, which are okay, but I prefer the triangle. For a time they made the triangle reticle, so you could use the big fat whole triangle for going fast and taking chances, and you could use the very tip top of the triangle for precise shots. Ingenious. I don't know why they stopped it. I guess most people shoot dots, they want dots, but I really love that triangle. If you can find one, eBay, they're probably, in my opinion, the best, real world use handgun sight, period. Now, some other ones that I've used that take batteries that have held up pretty well. The Right-On. It's like a Right-On RMR copy, I guess you call it. Similar open emitter. I've had that thing on a shotgun. I have it on a shotgun right now. I've had it on for a while. I may have had it on a pistol before that. Anyway, it's held up. It's held up to abuse. I don't baby my stuff. It's held up. It's a Right-On. I don't think it's lost zero. It's a good optic. It's with the older gen. I hope the newer gen is as good or better, but it's the Right-On. It was affordable. I got it because it was affordable. It's held up well. The other one, Burst Fastfire. I have an old. I've had it a long time. Burst Fastfire. One of the early gens. It's a small optic. It would be good on a compact gun. It has held up really well. I have had that thing on a shotgun, I do believe, on a handgun, on a .22 rifle. Again, I don't baby my stuff. That's been on one of the guns that was a truck gun. It is a truck gun. It's not, that optic's not on there anymore, but it's banged around, beat around. It's good. My one thing with it is the adjustment on it is pretty horrible. I don't know if they fix it on the newer gens, but it's these two little teeny tiny, like micro screws, and they don't have clicks, so you're just kind of guessing. It's a pain in the butt to sight in. However, once it's sighted in and you lock it down, it's got these other two like retention screws to lock it down, which is kind of nice. Once you got it sighted in, not really an issue. So I would, if you're going to have that, put it on a gun that you're not going to mess with a ton. That's great. Like, you're going to put it on a .22 training handgun, you're going to leave it there. You're going to get it sighted in with CCI mini mags, and that's it. Fine. But if you're going to be swapping it off different guns, maybe not the best model for that. But it is rugged. It has held up well. Again, I don't baby it. It's good optic. And both of those are significantly cheaper than the Trijicon RMRs. There are a lot of budget red dots out there. I'm not saying those are bad. I'm saying these are the ones that I have experience with, and they've done well. One, I should say, I had a sight mark that I got, and that thing did not hold up well. it broke pretty quick. So quick I almost forgot that I bought it when I was just talking about that. Like, it did not last. But those are what I have experience with. I'm not saying the other ones that I didn't mention are good or bad, I just don't really have much experience with them. A great piece of kit, GPS shooting bag. I've had one of these for years and years and years since I lived in Flagstaff. I remember when I got it, so that's been a long time ago. GPS. I don't know what it stands for. I've got the design where it's got it looks like a backpack, and I will often wear it as a backpack. And you put a bunch of handguns. It's got like foam inserts in the bottom of the bag, and you can put, 4 or 5 handguns in there. Often I'll squeeze more, like on the sides. You can squeeze them in there, and then it's got room for a bunch of other stuff. It's got dedicated magazine pockets and stuff. So you're looking for a good range bag, especially for handguns. I don't think they make my exact model anymore, but they're not cheap bags. But I use that thing all the time. And it is a fantastic bag, worth the money. Another one I'll throw out there, ETS magazines. You might think that these are weird because they're plastic. Like a lot of them are clear plastic or a smoke translucent plastic. Man, I use these things a ton. And originally I probably got one just as a training mag, like I'm going to use it, abuse it, drop it, whatever. They're fantastic magazines, at least for the models that I've had and used. They're great. They're reliable. They're affordable. They're especially good training mags because I can look and see, do I have it loaded up with all dummy rounds or live rounds or whatever. They work, at least in my experience. They're plastic. Well, PMags are plastic. They're some of the best AR magazines out there. And these pistol mags, but you might think Glock magazines are plastic, but they're not. They're actually metal, and they're just dipped in plastic or wrapped in plastic, amalgamated, vulcanized in plastic, however they join those two things together. But it's a metal magazine coated in plastic. These are just plastic feed lips, but they're affordable, and in my experience, they run really well. One thing that I found that I kind of like, I don't think it was designed that way, it's just the way they work. When you shove them full of ammo, they kind of bulge. So if you hit the magazine release, they won't fall out of the gun. But I kind of like that because I don't want a full magazine dropping out of my gun even if I hit the button. When they're empty, they shoot out of there like they're on fire. When they're empty, they drop out just fine. When they're full, they kind of bulge out, I guess, and fit snugly in there, which I kind of like. Not so snugly you can't just throw them in there and slap them in there. So tight that if you add the mag button, hit the mag release, you're not just going to drop out. Again, I like that. You may not. I don't know why I would, unless it was administratively in a tactical situation, drop an entire full magazine. Do an attack reload, I'm grabbing it out anyway, right? So, anyway, I kind of like that. I kind of like those mags. They're cheap, they're affordable, they work. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to wrap this one up. Help me help you. Consider becoming a patron. They get a lot of cool insider-only content. A lot of times they get early ad-free content. If they're part of the chat, we interact a ton. If they want to. So, consider becoming a patron. American-made, small business, veteran-owned, operated. Some animals were harmed in the making of this process because I like to slay beasts and eat them, and I don't apologize for that. Anyway, consider becoming a patron. Let me throw out a tactical verse of the day. But God, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loves us, even when we were dead in trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised up together, and made us sit together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. This gear stuff is minutia. Remember what's really important. God Almighty should be the number one love and passion in your life. Thanks for listening, and have a blessed day.